It's Tuesday. It's 7 o'clock. It's that cool drink. It's time, everybody. I'm back. A few weeks hiatus. Obviously, had sick week, and then came back to Stevie being sick. So I had additional sick weeks after sick week, which was not that much fun. Luckily, I wasn't sick. It was all her stuff, but that's almost worse because you got to take care of her while everything else is going on. But honestly, I just got to where it was like, okay, should I have a show? And I was like, I haven't even asked anybody. So I'm back though. We're gonna have a good night. We got all the Haulin Ash crew on tonight. The Pickett'S. They've got the baddest hearse in the game. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about why on God's green earth do you have a Buick Roadmaster hearse that you turn into a race car. So that'll be really fun. And kind of doing it as a family as well. So that's going to be a very cool, upgrade for a lot of people with a lot of this stuff. And if you've got a car at home and you want to bring your wife and kid along, well, here's it. Example one, and we'll see how they do it without killing each other, and have a good time and still like each other when they get home. But got the Haulin Ash crew on tonight. Next week I had Clint Sadowski on, and this one's going to be super cool because I say a lot that the best announcer is a fanboy, and I'm a total fanboy. And I'm a Clint Sadowski fan. That dude is super cool. He's a nice guy. I mean, he's a big league pitcher. Now he is driving motocross stuff. He's driving drag race car stuff. So tune in for next week for sure. That one's going to be super cool. And then I've got Mark Barnes. He said, "Wait, you have the quickest hearse on. How about the quickest limo?" So let's do a back-to-back. So not quite back-to-back, few weeks apart here. But guys, without further ado, the Pickett'S are joining me tonight, and they've got the hearse, the Haulin Ash car. And there they are. And guys, thanks so much for joining. Thanks for hanging out and checking this out with us. And man, congratulations on the orange helmet on top of the car and winning that brand new class.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. I'm like, which side is...
It's backwards, yeah.
I don't even know. But congratulations. How cool
Thank
is
you.
that? Finally bringing home some hardware. And I know you've gotten a little bit in the past, but, number one, a win. And in February, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, we've had kind of been bridesmaid a couple times at race week, but just because of what we've done with the car, I don't know. I mean, we don't go to try to set the world on fire. It's just all to have fun for us. So whatever happens at the races. But
right. And typically, because of the way the thing is, it's an unlimited car.
Basically, yeah, because I changed
in pretty much every other race series. So,
yeah.
Then you got, dudes like, your buddy Royce.
Yeah.
And, whatever. That's a pretty much murderer's row of, drag and drive type of dudes that you're, constantly like, great. I get that car, and what that car is. So it's like, well,
that's just where the attrition rate comes into plays into our favor, but sometimes.
Right. But cool that heavyweight class, and you guys came in way overweight. Tell us.
We didn't have to worry about making weight.
No, hell no. Tell us about the car, and this is going to be. I assume Haleigh's always she's the car expert whenever someone walks up to talk about the car. But tell us about the car. What's it weigh? What's it? How quick is it now? And where are you guys currently with the Roadmaster?
So we've got a Dart LS based motor, twin turbos, 80 mil. Weighs about 4,000 pounds. And right at 4,000. And the fastest we've had it was last year at Sick Week. We went 806.7 at Bradenton. And then this year we went 807.
808.
807 last year, 808 this year. It was close.
right there.
It was right there.
So, a low 8-second, 4,000 pound, yacht.
Yeah. It's 22 feet long, tip to tip, not counting the parachute hanging out the back.
Wow. And I followed you guys. We went into the Royal Gorge.
Yeah.
I believe. And I was following you guys into that, and there were some switchbacks and stuff going up into there, and I thought a couple of times you were maybe going to have to do a couple of 3-point turns.
It's a 3-point turn, at least a 3-point turn, no matter where you go.
Right.
So, like race week when we went up Coal Creek Canyon, those switchbacks on the backside there, I have to look up the hill to make sure nobody's coming and use both lanes.
Yeah.
It has its challenges, that's for sure.
So let's get into what started you doing this. When did you realize that you were going to be poor but going to have cool cars, kind of moving forward?
I mean, I don't know. I've always been into cars. Like, even I can remember all the way back into before I could drive. I always digged cars. And then, I used to race all the time. So, like, I used to race BMX bikes when I was a younger kid, a teenager. That's kind of where the competitiveness started, I think.
Right.
And it's just always been there. I mean, I've done, that, paintball, airsoft, whatever it could. And then once I was able to start driving, then of course it just got even worse because now you have that freedom. But right at the end of high school, I was drag racing. I used to have a 72 Roadrunner that I used to drag. I drag raced at like high school drags back in
at Bandamere.
Yeah, at Bandamere.
Right.
In like the mid 90s,
Yeah, and it's kind of same. I'm a how old am I? 42, 43, something like that. So
right.
I think I kind of started in 96 or something like that at high school drags. Yep. Is that about right?
That's because I graduated in 96. So I've been like 94, 95, 96.
Okay. So I should have graduated in 97. That's for a different podcast.
A whole nother story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we're kind of the same age, and it's funny that you mentioned that. Like, that's kind of where I got my start into, really like announcing, because Bruce Kamada was the gangster, and at the high school drags, he would know all the mascots to all the high schools. Oh, cool. So it was the coolest thing. Like, you'd have your high school written on your back window, and you'd be up there representing. But then he would know, like, whatever, you're the Rams and you're the whatever Tigers. Even little bitty towns in like eastern Colorado, like he would, you're whatever, the Byers Eagles or something. And then like, how do you know all of this? And he's like, I've been doing this a long time and I love it. Like,
okay. That's interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Drink.
Yeah, there
you go. So when did I guess we haven't even heard from Laurie yet, so Laurie gets to talk as well. When did you get into cars?
Mostly because of Jason. A little bit before that, because I grew up in northern Colorado, and the thing teenagers do on Friday and Saturday night is go cruise.
Cruise, right?
So me and my friends would go cruise, and so you like checking out what everyone brings, and that was a fun time with friends. And this just stacks on top of that. I mean, it's the same vibe.
Yeah, hell yeah. So at what point do you decide like, you're like, man, I'm an idiot, right? And let's try to make this land yacht go really fast. Except I was talking with like John Sears, and he said they might be evil geniuses, because it's like, it's just got so much wheelbase. It's not. You can work it like a front engine dragster.
It's
a little bit.
It's basically a dragster with a body.
Right.
It's a 146-inch wheelbase.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What are those stock?
Stock.
What are those stock though? Like not a limo, but a.
I'm not sure. Me and Steve Morris talked about that, because I was trying to get a picture next to his car last year.
Right.
And he couldn't I think he didn't quite comprehend that they extend the frame on these just like they do a limo, because he was trying to figure out how mine was so much longer than his was.
Right.
And I think it was pretty close to 2 feet, or even a little more than that.
I'm going to Google it, because I got the roadmap wheelbase. 115.9.
So there you go. Yeah.
So
almost 3 feet.
Almost 3 feet.
Yeah.
Right. And right in the middle.
Yeah, they do it in the middle like a limo. They cut it and then stretch it out. And it was all in there. We had to plate over everything and do all that.
Wild. And I got to look at the cage, and I don't have a ton of really good pictures of the inside of it, but like it's got cage throughout.
Yeah, it's because the 4-link's so far back, we had to try to stiffen it up as good as we could.
Right.
And even when we were done, you jack it up and you could watch it just flex. So then we had to start adding more. And I mean, there's still factory frame from front to back. The whole middle section is still factory frame. But then we added a whole bunch of tubing in there to try to stiffen it up. Yeah, and It's still, you jack it up to change tires, you can still kind of watch the door gap kind of
right
around a little bit.
But yeah, so like at what point are you like, this is it? Like, honey, daughter, we're gonna do this.
I think it all started with Royce. It's Royce's fault. That's it.
Yep.
A lot of stuff is Royce's fault.
Helping him with his car. I mean, from race week 1, it took us a few years to get that thing to go anywhere, but doing that and then finally being able to get it to the end. And I was sitting in Kearney at the last day, kind of just looking around going, you know what? I'm tired of, so I used to race off road. So I was tired of being out in the dirt and just everything's dirty and filthy. And then the car comes home and it's just completely wrecked. All the body panels are trashed and everything's just horribly dirty. So it's like, okay, let's maybe look at transitioning back to drag racing and doing something like this. Cause that was, the whole vibe and the whole deal was just so appealing to me. So then it was kind of well, what do you do? Right. So never really kind of followed that, normal path. So with vehicles. So we kind of, you look around and it's like, I just couldn't bring myself, to do another Nova or a Camaro or a Fox body or whatever. And I started thinking, well, wheelbase isn't always a bad thing. So it's like, well, what about a wagon? And you look around and there's still like 4 wagons there. And then somehow, I don't know who said it, but it was like, well, what about a really big wagon? And then it kind of came into, what's even bigger? Well, a hearse came up. And it's like, well, is there records for a hearse? And then we started looking, and sure enough, there's, Guinness records and people that had faster ones but didn't submit it yet,
Right.
And it was like, well, then it kind of turned into, that'd be kind of cool, definitely unique. Wonder how hard it is to find one. And then that's when the search started. And surprisingly, it's not that difficult.
I was going to say, you kind of see them often. Yeah. Because, funeral homes and stuff want the nicest, newest stuff. So they're probably recycling them with a, relatively high rate.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, I would imagine most of them, every few years or something, they're cycling through them.
Yeah. But that's the ride.
Yep.
There it is in all of its glory and length. And then, then you add the coffin trailer. And that's a legit, like this is a crazy legit trailer because it's got like a big axle with brakes.
Yep.
And you've got like a wireless brake controller and everything in the hearse.
Yeah, well, it's not wireless, but I have it so I can take it in and out.
Right. But that's there it is doing its thing, and at 8.0, not quite in the 7s yet, but we're gonna make that happen.
I kept telling myself I'm not gonna force it.
Right.
It's gonna happen, and it's just gonna happen because.
Yep. And Kevin Schweitzer says it has the length and both the length and the girth. It's got both, which
definitely
it's a family show. But. So when you first started with this, I guess, did I see the initial iteration of it with the Pro Charger? Was that kind of how it started?
That was the original. Yeah. That was after we had done all the chassis work and stuff, getting it and all that stuff. Actually started with it was a 383 LS6 out of my old off-road truck.
Okay.
With the Pro Charger. It was an F2 on it.
Okay. Got it.
That was the first, I think 2 or 3 years that we raced it that way. I think 2 years.
It's still painted there. I'm looking for a pre-painted one somewhere. I don't know if I do or not, but no. So yeah, it was pre-painted.
Pre-shined.
It is there, but you can't tell.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it was a LS3 based with an
LS6.
F2 or LS6 base. I'm sorry, with an F2. And how quick did you get it going? It was well in the tens, I think, with that.
Actually, the first race week we took it to, it went 10-0s.
Yeah.
And there was stuff that wasn't right. We were having some shifting issues and stuff, because we started with, can we make it do 9s?
Right.
And because Arnie AMS Performance has one that went 9:54, and it's like, okay, that's the fastest one we could find, so like that's our goal, right? So race week it went 10-0s. Shortly after we ended up getting that down to 9:64.
Okay.
And not too much longer, after that. And it was pretty consistent. It would run mid to high 9s just all the time. And we took it to Julesburg and we'd go bracket racing it for the weekend. And
right.
Yeah, had a lot of fun with it still then. So, and then it was like, okay, well, we're that far. How do we, now obviously you need more power, right? So enter the whole LS3 dart motor.
Right. Right.
And then
the Frankenstein heads and I mean, it's this.
Just that
like Haleigh doesn't want to go to college, right? Because she wants to help with her stuff instead. That seems like more fun.
Yeah.
as things do.
Oh yeah.
But that's the bad boy right there.
Yep.
And it's got the twin 80s.
Yep.
Those are force performance. Yep. And I know we've talked before, but lots and lots of Crower. The thing's filled full of Crower, and I think that kind of came from really Royce realizing like you got to have the nice shit.
Yeah.
So just buy it once.
Yeah.
And I remember exactly like the day we're pulling into a hotel. His stuff is there. It's like day 2 or 3. It was his last year of not finishing. And he had like all the rockers out, and he's rebuilding all the rockers in the hotel parking lot, and he's hating his life. And he came over, and he was looking at Rich Keto's stuff, and he was like, "How long you had them Crowers?" And he's like, "Since I put this together." And he was just like the look on his face while he was going back to work on his car for another 4 hours. Told the story 100%. But
totally.
But yeah, I mean, talk about that. And I know like Rich had a YouTube like video that he put out all about his valve train, but talk about all the stuff that you put in this thing to keep it alive on a Dragon drive.
Well, I mean, I think it's no secret valve trains, probably number one. That stuff just goes. It doesn't matter that you're not on the track. It's going through the same cycle every revolution. So if it's not up to snuff, you're hosed. You're in for a rough time anyway.
Right.
But I would say that's definitely where that started. Was once we kind of progressed with Royce's and got it to where, hey, this is what we need to be using here. It was kind of a no brainer. And that's how I met Lewis at Crower. So
yeah,
and it wasn't even a question. Just got with him and he got me all that stuff. So I mean, it's got their stainless, rocker setup in it, and their cam and lifter, bush lifters, everything.
No, they're not on it there.
When Jason had done the research and decided on what heads he was was gonna put on the motor, Lewis actually helped with making sure that was going to be the right move for us. And I'll let Jason elaborate because I don't know the right stuff to say regarding that. But I know that he decided on the heads, and then Lewis played a major part in making that come together to make it do what it does for us. So.
Okay, yeah.
When I decided to use the Frankenstein heads, went with their F310s, the LS3 based ones. And the only people that made rockers at the time was Jessel and T&D.
Right.
And neither of them could do anything in a time frame that was even remotely affordable, for me anyway.
Right.
And then so that's when I reached out to Lewis, and I ended up actually having one head shipped to Lewis at Crower and then one head shipped home. And he actually went ahead and designed, and they made a whole rocker setup for that head. So I ended up with
Wow.
set 1 on that head. And we've done a little bit of like R&D with it for him. Like we've changed things a couple times, and it's been a good, partnership with it there. So
Yeah, for
that worked
sure.
out really good. And
And that's the absolute best part. I mean, I've dealt with Lewis myself with a lot of the same stuff, and I've got like a wacky dart head that's supposed to be like a stock replacement head, but typical shaft rockers didn't fit it. Same deal. He was like, let me go buy one, and I'll put a set of shaft rockers together for it, and I'll send them to you. Like, who does that? Who buys heads for you? That's pretty stellar stuff.
Yeah, he's definitely a stand-up dude. I'm glad we got hooked up there.
Well, and the phrase that you hear in a lot of the chats and the forums and stuff, support those that support us and the sport we love. He makes it so easy to continue to support him because he gives it back. And so, if we have a question or an issue, we call him and we're like, hey, let's brainstorm on this and let's figure it out. And we've ran into that with some of the other companies that we've used their products as well. And that's where I love this community, because the companies that support what we love to do truly support us. And so it makes it easy to then call them and order the next thing.
Right. Right. Exactly. And like it's no, none of that stuff's hidden. Like that, this stuff's expensive. And I mean, it just is. And even if they're helping a little bit, typically you're not getting stuff like 100% just here. It's
no,
you can have it. Like you're still paying really good money for this stuff. And when you do it and it backs up what it does, what it says it's supposed to do. And then dudes like Lewis come around and, like, is everything cool? Is it, can I bring you anything else? Here's bearings, here's whatever. And, whatever you need, that's, it's such a styling deal and a win-win. Like they get their stuff out there and they get, people get to see you beat on it mercilessly, and you get to fly the Crower flag. It's a win-win in my opinion.
I think it's definitely. There's a non-painted one there.
Yep, there's an old one. I thought it had a big Crower sticker on it, but it doesn't.
I actually think that was probably my biggest burnout in that thing. It was there
to date.
It came up in third gear, and it was just going nice and straight, and the crowd just looked like they were all just kind of sitting there watching paint dry. So I was like, you know what?
You can't tell.
Check this out. Do you want it? Yeah. You ever seen a hearse do a 300-foot burnout?
Oh yeah.
You'll hear about it.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
We're standing right behind him in that picture.
But they're
never know.
She was on the radio saying, "Go slow, I can't see you." When I was backing up.
That's awesome. Yes. And of course, Royce painted it for you as well.
Yep. Yeah.
Royce laid down, and if you guys if you know anything about body, like black and body, that stuff doesn't really go well together, especially when you talk about something that's stretched 3 feet
and fiberglass.
Right.
A lot of it.
Right. So it looks super good for for what it is, and I hate that caveat of like, it's a pile of junk, but it looks good for a pile of junk. It actually does look good. Like, you could put it next to another Roadmaster wagon that's not a hearse, and it would, it's going to look good. It's going to look better than that one. So
it's actually black, and it has a ton of violet pearl in it. So when the sun hits it just right, you'll see purple in it.
Wow. Okay. And it's actually, you can sort of see it in your garage right now, a little bit.
Probably.
Just kind of right above. Yeah. It's sort of got that. You can see that pearl real good. That's pretty sweet.
That's kind of what we're going for. Have it, give it a little shift kind of to make people, whoa, what? Like double take, or more than you already do, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one time at one of the races, I heard somebody talking about it, and they were like, "Oh, do you know that thing's painted purple?" I was like, "Actually, it's just black with a bunch of pearl." And he's like, "No, it's purple." It's like,
and you're like, "Okay, well, see ya."
Yeah, good talk. Yeah.
Oh man. So you've done a bunch of race weeks. You've done a couple of sick weeks. Obviously, you got some hardware out of some of your race week stuff. You got yourself a A wallet.
A wallet. Yep. Still have it.
Mhm.
Still got the wallet.
Still sits with the trophy.
It's like a Wally, but it's
Yeah.
it's not. It was still it's still a cool trophy.
Oh,
a naked spray painted Barbie doll. Who doesn't?
Just the story behind it was almost makes it better.
No, it totally does. And he's like, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna do this.
That was cool.
Yeah.
It was better. He was asking me like, what do I do? And my idea was like, give everyone another $100 and have them go buy trophies, and we'll have a trophy contest.
Oh,
Here you go.
And I was like, maybe, but I want to give them something. I don't want to just give them $100. But I thought it would be kind of cool to figure out what you could build or buy or borrow or whatever for $100, and then have something where we can, maybe you win another $1,000 or something. Who knows?
That'd be pretty
But-
cool.
Yeah. But either way, it ended up with that, and I think that was cooler. And it was even better because they were like falling apart on stage. Like some of the hot glue was coming loose on them, and
off the
that
tiles.
was
Mhm.
good. It was super good.
Yep.
And then obviously the helmet this year.
Yeah.
And
that was unexpected. I'll say that.
yeah. And talk to us about that. Like,
Man.
sick week, racing in February with your family, and coming home with a helmet. And I want to hear from all of you, like how your week was, and the ups and downs and the drive, and thrashing on the thing. It's talk to us about sick week.
So I have to say, first of all, when my coworkers see my PTO request for February, they're like, how long are you going to be gone? And I'm like, I'm not sitting on a beach sipping Mai Tais. Like, yes, we're having a blast, but like, trust me.
It's the only vacation you need a vacation from at the end.
Yeah. And it's worth every moment. The stories that we have and the memories that we're making and we get to come home with, you can't, I'm sorry, but a cruise and a beach and no, it's just, those aren't the kind of memories that I'm going to hang on to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This year for sick week, I mean, it wasn't even necessarily the week. It was the lead up to it and all the work that, like, the issues we had before we left. Like, I was amazed we even got to go, to be honest.
Right. Because you were waiting for parts until like last second almost.
Oh, literally.
Well, then we'd get one part, and unfortunately, something else would rear its ugly head, and we're like, oh, so now we get to order that too.
The amount of times that we had to put the bottom end together just to take it apart again to get something fixed, to put it together, and then have to take it apart again to get something else fixed. And I probably made like 20 trips to Denver in a week.
It kind of started here.
Yeah, that was last year. We couldn't go more than about 4 passes without losing the head gasket, and we found a bunch of issues. And
and it got the head.
Yeah, that didn't get too bad. That was an easy fix, but ended up finding like the crank had a crack in it. I'm pretty sure from the pro, trying to, because we had the Pro Charger spinning full speed.
Turning the Pro Charger too hard,
Yeah, and it had a crack in it. So like, you order a crank and they say, oh yeah, 2 to 3 weeks. And then you wait 5 weeks before you get it. And, we ended up having to get we didn't have to, but we chose to get a different block to start with a new foundation again, change to, fuel hoops and receiver grooves in that instead of trying to do just the traditional O-ring. And change that. But then, we had to get pistons, and it's like same thing, you're 2 to 3 weeks. And then it's like, okay, here's 5 weeks again.
Yeah. Yep.
We literally didn't start the car last year for 9 months. Like, we went to sick week, and then we went to LS Fest in April, and then it was torn apart, and it didn't run until a week and a half before we left for Florida.
Mm-hmm.
It was
the things we do for fun.
Stressful, to say the least. And then you're taking this completely brand new setup again. You're driving. It was 28-hour drive for us to go and hope it worked. Yeah, that was. We literally drove around the block twice. It was snowing. It snowed the day before, so we threw the mud tires on there and went for a couple drives, put about 10 or 20 miles on it just to make sure everything pressures looked good, didn't overheat, and then it went in the trailer and we went to Florida. So yeah, it's
yikes.
Yeah, you think about this. People talk about the stress of the event. I think it was worse. Like, I don't know.
Just
getting
it ready.
It was something.
Right.
Yeah,
Real quick, Ethan wants to know if you're heading to LS West again.
That's the plan. We do have some issues right now, but it's like I know what happened and I know how to prevent it. It's just
are those what happened
during
with the bearing stuff?
Yeah. So
good times. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about. Hold on. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to Kelly. Little Corvette. Oh my God. It's so hard.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to let this play on a loop. And if you know anything about fuel injection, red is bad in the gauge.
Yeah.
And so I can read the volts are 12.3 and it actually has 14.7 commanded, but everything else is red because it's not running.
No, it's not.
Because you blew it up.
Pretty much. I mean, it was short of, another what was that moment, and I think it could have been really bad. But that was, I think, day 4. That's when we went to South Georgia. So for us, the first 2 or 3 days at Sick Week this year were pretty smooth. I mean, it was 8.2, 8.2, and like an 8, and then 8.0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I kind of kept tabs and kept I keep a close eye on the race week people, especially, and
sure.
It helps if you're in quarantine because it's close for me. But I mean, yeah, you guys were trucking along.
Yeah, all the way to the 4th day at South Georgia, and made another 8.1 pass there. Everything seemed fine. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Load up, take off. We got gas. We were traveling with Kelly there in the vet, and we got on the highway, and we might have went 2 or 3 miles tops. Like literally just got up to speed. Like, all right, what do we got for snacks? And then all of a sudden I heard this loud knock, knock. I was like, what was that? I take the headphone off, and then it's knocked about 4 or 5 more times and knew exactly what it was. Saw the oil pressure gauge wigging out, and it tanked. Just killed it. And we're on the shoulder of I-75 down there. So it'd be like sitting on the shoulder of, I-25.
Right.
And nobody gets, of course, nobody gets over. And it's like, this is not a good situation. Like, we can't do anything about this here. And there's like 2 miles up the road. Up. There was 2 hills. Yeah.
It was it was a couple of hills. Right.
Yeah. And there was a port of entry, and they have the little parking area and rest area. So Kelly being there with us, we threw a tow strap on the front of the hearse and went underneath his little trailer on the back and hooked it to his trailer hitch on that little Corvette.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen it, it's like I don't even know, 67.
I think it's 66.
Yeah.
Whatever. Corvette. Yeah. It's the gold one. It was super cool. He finished.
Yeah, really nice.
I dubbed him the new Royce Payton, if you guys didn't hear. Because he's failed for a couple of years in a row, and so this year was his redemption year. And not only did he finished and went quick. So I was a Kelly Harvey fan this last couple of weeks or whatever. But it was cool that he was also there to save you off the side of the highway.
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like, we took off, and it's like, well, we just got to see what it'll do, if it can do it. And we started rolling, and it seemed to be doing it no problem. And he towed us the 2 miles up to that port of entry, and we threw the jack underneath it and threw it up on jack stands, tore it apart, and sure enough, it spun. I think it was number 5. It spun it, and then there was a couple others in there that just didn't look too happy.
Well, this is what you.
That was actually the fuel filter.
Oh, okay.
That was because before we left South Georgia.
Oh, that was when the pump.
The fuel pump. It made the run okay, and the fuel pressure was good on the run. But then as I was sitting there waiting my turn on the scales, I saw the fuel pressure bouncing up and down a little bit, and I knew exactly. I've had issues with it before, and I knew what it was.
Right, and these are this is an Enderley pump, so these are, if you guys don't know, it's a gear drive pump, so it's sort of like an oil pump. It has 2 gears that run together and pressurize the fuel, and it if you look on his, it sticks off the front of the motor, and you run it on methanol. You can't.
Yeah,
it doesn't have it here, but here it is.
We actually run it on a belt drive.
Oh, is it a belt? Okay.
Yeah, so it's like down where the AC would be. Got
it. So either way, if you have it where it starts getting an interference fit, then that's all the gears.
Eats all that brass up and no bueno.
And then there you are. Good times.
Yeah. So
we
lost
you're at the That's Cool thing and a basketball game. You're at the combination.
I wonder if that's Jason.
That's Cool drink and basketball game. Multitasking.
I think that's my neighbor.
Yeah.
Drink. Good job at the high school basketball game and tuning in. Appreciate you. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No, so we knew the fuel pump was an issue. We kind of had a plan, Royce was willing to go take the one off of his car and overnight it. Brian Mackey ended up having one that he overnighted to us, and that actually saved our bacon there.
Right. And he's got the chicken fried falcon.
Yeah.
And he's been on sick week. He was the guy that actually had the steering wheel come off and he skipped it down the fence at Bradenton, I think. I can't remember where it was. But
correct. Yeah. So
either way,
he saved our bacon with that. But yeah, throwing those bearings in at the port. There you go.
That's my chick.
There you go. That's fun.
That is funny. And I'm gonna drink to that too.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man. So not only did you kill a fuel pump.
Yep.
Then as you were driving out.
Yep. Started knocking.
You blew the motor.
There's some little troll inside there with a hammer banging on stuff that we had to get out of there. But and then of course when it did that to the bearing, now you got all that transfer onto the crank.
Right.
And all we had was some Scotch-Brite. So I tore some Scotch-Brite up, put a strip of duct tape over it so it was long enough that I could seesaw it on the crank.
Right. So, have it do something.
Yeah, you have to try to get it all off there somehow. So yeah, Scotch-Brite, paper towel to try to polish it back up, and then we had bearings somehow.
But he almost didn't pack.
Yeah, I almost left them, and I was like, you know what? That's one of those things where you're like, if I leave this, guess what I'm going to need?
Yep. And it doesn't take up that much space, so it's like
it was an easy throw it in.
And you have a hearse for crap. I mean, it's not like you don't have any place to put crap.
Yeah. So luckily we had that, so we polished it up, and then. I don't think I've stared at an oil pressure gauge more in my life than that next 250 miles that night.
Yep. And that was the day 4. So we're going back to day 5 to finish.
Yep. Of course, the longest drive of the whole event.
And the longest drive of the whole thing. Exactly.
And I have to stress out about it the entire way.
Right.
Yeah. Somehow it did great. It went all the way just fine. Oil pressure was great. Showed up at the last day and ripped off another 8-1 to seal the deal there.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
So yeah, and, that whole heavyweight class, I fully expected, like Joe Barry type people to be there, which I see the future of that class being those type of cars.
Right.
But I felt like it kind of gave us more of a, a home for the car instead of just having to go unlimited because that's all we got.
Right.
And then with sick week, you don't get trophies for first, second, or third and unlimited. So it's like, well, if you're going to try for something, you might as well go for a class that you might get a trophy.
Right.
And
right.
Here we are.
and do you wear an extra large helmet?
Oh, they get you big ones. It'll fit just about anybody, I think.
Yep. Talk with Rich Guido. He had someone put in padding and made it fit him.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
So he actually wears it.
Nice.
One of his. He's got 2, but he had someone put padding on the inside and made it fit his head. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Pretty-
that's good.
That is cool. Drink.
That is cool.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, great perseverance. Super cool that you got the thing done. You brought it back and you went. Did you go with your quickest pass that last day? You did not.
The last day wasn't our fastest pass was day 3. So at Gainesville, which I kind of expected Bradenton to be the fast one, but I think the air was better at Gainesville.
Right, and you are you're running a slick with your car, right?
It's a 32 tall, 14 wide slick.
Yeah.
And
So you should make enough power that because Bradenton had it sticky, like super sticky. It was radial prep like crazy.
Yep.
So like you probably make enough power that was hurting you there too, unfortunately.
Last year we fought tire shake a lot, and then being new to the whole turbo game last year, I drove it in the ditch. Basically did to get off the highway. But,
right.
Yeah, being new to the turbos last year, it was kind of how do we manage the power? Like we didn't know what it was going to do, how much boost was it going to make on the line, how quick will it build boost? We didn't know any of that.
Right.
And we fought tire shake the whole time last year. And then this year, having a little more laps under the belt, made a couple changes. And then the biggest thing I think was making sure we're at the track in time to go be ready for that first pass before they start spraying the track.
Right.
I think without that, I think we probably would have fought a lot more shake again.
For sure. Yeah. So you got LS West, hopefully coming up. I assume you're probably are you gonna take the motor out and go through it real quick? I mean,
it's out.
It's actually out and completely stripped apart, and the crank is going down to Dave at Mile High down there tomorrow morning.
Nice. Okay.
So hopefully he can save that.
Exactly. But it did. I mean, it's fingers crossed. Like seems.
It obviously hurt it. It doesn't seem like it's going to need that much off of it. And the only thing that really kind of concerns me is there was a little heat in it. But I don't know. I talked to Bob. I sent Bob from Madcap a picture of it, and he didn't seem too worried about it. So he just told me trust Dave and do what he says. So
Bob with Killing Time Racing now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's big time now.
big time now. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Jason Acton hopes to see you in Vegas.
Hopefully. That's the plan. I think we'll be there regardless. It's just a matter of if it's this car or that car, her car. So
wait, what car?
Well, so we have 2 LS cars in our garage, so it's just a matter of which LS car makes the appearance at LS Fest.
Well, what's this other car?
I've got a 2000 Firebird.
Oh, nice!
6.0 with flat tops and a cam, so it's loud and it's fun, and that's all I care.
Right? No, that's.
I did it myself. What more?
Right?
What more can you ask for?
That's the jam. I mean, 16-year-old kid with a choppy, or 18-year-old kid with a choppy cam, and
Lewis hooked you up with the chop.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. I don't care how fast it is, just make it chop.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. We found a junkyard motor off Facebook, and she tore it down and rebuilt it, and
nice.
Did the whole deal. So
hell yeah,
that sounds so good.
Jason has his, I believe, is it a 300ZX or is it all right? I think it is a 300ZX that he's got. Blue one. He's with War Performance, and he's been on Race Week a bunch. So look him up. Stevie says that's badass.
The War Wagon.
Yeah, he's got the War Wagon as well. 280Z, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And the War Wagon. He's got the 280Z going to import face-off. It's got the turbo LS in it. So I was like, I need to have Jason on at some point. He's a veteran too, and he's been doing a bunch of Race Week stuff. He's good people. I'm gonna have him on soon. But
that was the hardest part when I was getting it built, and like I just got it running, and then him and Royce are standing there like, so when are you gonna order a turbo? No, calm down. Hang on a second.
Stop it.
Slow down. Then he was already, when I brought it home, he was already talking about gutting out the interior and getting new seats. I was like, hang on.
I need to be able to drive this thing, man. Like, what do you? So you have two.
She said she wanted more cruiser that you can race, not a race car you can cruise.
Yeah.
No, that's the best way. And here's the key to keep it from getting out of hand. Just never put a bar in it.
Yeah.
Just never. You can only go 1150. When I say only, an 1150 street car is a fast ass street car. I don't care what anyone tells you. Like, if your friends have 8.0 hearses, then your 1150 street car doesn't seem that fast. But like when the rest of your friends have Civics and regular cars, and you have an 1150 Firebird, your car is fast as hell. So just it's all the company you keep. So just keep that in mind, but just don't ever put a bar in it, and it won't get out of control.
It's kind of what I told her because we actually got her car done, and we were actually she was able to run down Vandermeer the last day they were open.
Nice.
So nice. I told her, I said, it may run. We don't know what it's going to run. It may run a 13, may run a 14, may run a 15, but I guarantee you it's not going to feel like it.
Right.
And she made lap after lap after lap. So
nice. And after the first pass, she comes back to the lanes and goes, turn it up.
Turn it up.
So, hell yes. Yeah. So you have two. Now Laurie needs one.
Eventually. We're running out of space in the garage.
Yeah.
We're at the same point. Stevie wants a Vega wagon at some point, or an AMX.
There you go.
So, but we have a 1-car garage. So
yeah.
Well,
all
my credits in storage currently.
AMX, I know a guy that could help you get one of them. He's probably got a few sitting here for you. So.
Oh, don't tell us that ever.
Ever. I got a friend here that's a big guy, AMC guy. So.
They're a different breed of cat. I've realized, but whatever. They're cool.
They are.
Like Jacob Bailey, I think. That brought his Javelin.
Yeah.
The red, white, and blue Javelin.
Yep. Yeah. We talked to him at the hotel one night. He's
Jacob Davis. Jacob Davis. And he just got engaged, by the way. So congratulations to him.
Nice.
But yeah, like he took that thing out of like mothballs.
Yeah.
And the motor was built in 95.
Wow.
And he put the motor in it. It had never been like rotated or he had nothing. Just stabbed the motor in it. It was going 10s by the end of the week. NA. Yep. It's a half-filled block, half-filled 401 with a way too much compression and way too much cam, and he took it out on sick week and had a blast with it.
Oh yeah,
with this old ratty bracket car. It was tin interior, and it had to be like riding inside of a bass drum. So
did you see what they did to the rear end of that? First day?
No, I think they tear it out. He launched and the whole thing fell out.
Yeah, it ripped the brackets off the axle. He was telling us all about it at the hotel one night, and of course the hotel parking lot, hanging out is the place to be. But yeah, he was telling us all about it, and then when we got home, I saw pictures of it and I thought, holy crap! I can't believe they just beat it back together, welded her up, and
and here they are, still going back in the 10s again. Whatever. And Chris Story, pleasure. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Too much compression, too much camshaft. That's the Wombo combo.
Yeah.
It's pretty much my whole life right there, which is awesome.
Party.
Hell yeah, let's do that. So I can't wait to see it. Whatever you come up with, Laurie, it's obviously going to be LS because you got to have a fleet. I believe in the fleet a lot.
There you go.
Because then you have to carry less parts.
Right.
Right.
And the hearse hand-me-downs go in Haleigh's car, no problem.
That's mostly what it was.
You heard those Frankenstein heads beyond repairing to put in your car. You can for sure put them on an NA car, and that would wake that thing up right now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Injectors.
There's a method to this madness. There's hand-me-downs, and then Laurie can be kind of the, whatever you come up with when Haleigh gets sick and tired of her stuff.
Yep.
hand it over to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's it like doing this as a family? Like, and I tell the story all the time, and I mess it up, but Haleigh, it was not prom, it was homecoming, but I tell this prom all the time. But like, missed homecoming to go to race week, and brought her homecoming dress to go do race week with you guys. But like, how cool is that to like build this kind of purpose-built family vehicle that you guys go and do all this with? Like, that's got to be so cool.
Well, and then to add on to that, Adam, so she did the homecoming thing, and that was race week a few years back. Sick week last year, 23.
Mm-hmm.
Haleigh had her wisdom teeth out on Monday, had a cheer competition on Saturday, and then we caught a red eye to be there for day 0 of sick week 23.
It was
Wow.
Saturday night, and day 0 was Sunday morning.
Yeah.
She's a gangster.
Yeah.
This girl, like,
Wasn't gonna miss it.
yeah, we asked her, we're like, we can make arrangements, like you can stay home, whatever. And she's like, no.
That's
not
like
even-
I like 3 things, and cheer and racing are 2. So like, I'm not missing my 2 of my favorite things. So let's go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is
Well,
awesome.
we already had my wisdom tooth appointment for a while when they announced the sick week dates, I'm pretty sure. And so then I was asking my dentist when we got there, I was like, so can I like take a flight on Saturday? Will I be okay? And she's like, we really wouldn't recommend it. It's like, but you didn't say no. So
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, you purpose built the car with a seat for Haleigh,
Yep.
and
Yep.
so that you guys could do this as a family.
Yeah, originally we wanted to put 4 seats in it, but then when you start throwing all those tubes in there and those down bars in the back are so long, it kind of killed it all. But luckily there's only 3 of us, so threw the
Right.
seat in the middle. But yeah, that was the whole point, was to be able to go do it as a family and, you know, have fun with it all. I mean, just cruising down the road is, you know, that's half the fun.
Oh, I mean, I always say that like 80% of the soul of drag and drive is on the road. I mean,
Oh yeah,
the live stream, people typically get to see the race stuff, but that's so much. That's like this little itty bitty piece of everything that's happening. And
I think the race side is the easiest side.
oh, easy. Oh yeah,
It's-
for sure.
That's just the icing on the cake. The rest of it's the work, you know.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and,
that was the whole point. Get all of us out there and enjoy it.
and you're not like as bad as some folks, because like husband and wife teams in Chevettes and single cab pickups, like I have no idea how these people stay married.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes the conversations get a little spicy.
I mean, I understand. I get it. I mean, Stevie and I a couple of times have been like, I've had to like stop and like, okay, let's not kill each other right now. Like, no one will find our bodies. So, let's, get our stuff back together. And we've got a 4-door, sedan. We're riding in luxury and it's slow. So it's, it's awesome. But, yeah, man, it's got to be such a different thing riding in a hearse with your people. And I mean, everyone's looking. There's no way you're driving down the road and not every single car is like rubbernecking. Is that
been stories?
That's almost the most fun part. I mean, I love seeing our racing family, and there's some people that like live 10 miles away from us, and we see them at these events.
Like Kelly.
Like Kelly.
right? Right.
But the stories that we have going down the road, and like, I love the fact that I'm the passenger because I get to watch the cars as they go by and the faces.
There's got to be millions of photos of this rolling down the road with people going, "Are you kidding me? What are these idiots doing?"
We've had people hold up traffic to get pictures and go blowing down turn lanes just to stop next to us and like say hi. And
I always think about like how many people go home and say, "You're not going to believe what I just saw."
Right. You guys, I saw a hearse, right? And it was a race car, and it had a freaking coffin behind it. And I mean, and it had Colorado plates on it, and it said last ride, and they're in Florida.
Right.
I think
That
it
car
was
just kills me. That's you get one for that.
I think it was race week, but one of the drive days, we actually had someone pull over thinking we were a procession because we typically lead because there's 3 of us. So like Haleigh and I can help navigate.
Right.
And so a lot of times you have us and then you have like Royce and, whoever else, kind of this trail of people. And we've had people think we're a procession.
That is awesome.
So it's kind of funny.
That's awesome. And I'm not sure who this is, but Haleigh's got a fan club. You're an impressive young woman and a great ambassador for the reading sport.
Yeah, the reading. Yep.
Yeah.
Auto.
Racing. So, way to go. You got some fans, and you'll do great things. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
You guys can. What's that?
I was just going to say, that's one thing too that's really cool is because this is something that all 3 of us enjoy legitimately, it's something that she's been raised around. I mean, she grew up sleeping in the shop, and impacts and air tools and stuff, the kid could sleep through everything. But I mean, so she's grown up around it, and just seeing that she's learned like the work ethic and to follow through on the pursuit of something, and now seeing her now put that into her own vehicle, it's been really cool to watch and, see her raised around that and then see her do the same thing.
I've said it for years that you're learning more at a week-long race than you are at school. I don't care what you've got going that week in school, the things you're going to learn in the real world with this thing that brings people together from coast to coast and, even worldwide. The width of this is beyond measure. It really is.
Yeah.
Like the amount of
the racetrack.
Oh yeah. It totally is. And the people you meet and the people that you know and the people that will help you at the drop of a hat.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing thing. And I say it all the time, like in this world, all of a sudden there are no borders. You can get parts from anywhere, and people will take them off of their running car and send them to you so you can go do more cool shit. That's pretty amazing in this world. Like, especially this world. Like, this world's crazy, but there's 1,000 families, if you will, scattered all over the world that will do anything for each other. It's cool. It's such a cool 100%.
Thing. Yeah,
and Delilah says that is so cool, bro. I assume that's one of your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, I told you that time moves fast. We've been doing this an hour.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like it.
No.
But I'm gonna start asking some questions. We're gonna keep talking. We're gonna keep doing our thing. If you're on the live stream, go ahead and ask questions on the comments and stuff. There's one right there. How many headers, studs, nuts did you lose? Ha 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 ha.
I'm pretty sure that's the Thiessens there. I had to go over there and ask him 2 or 3 times, do you have another one? I had one stud that just would not stay tight, and it's every time I got to the track, the nut was gone.
Son, he did say he was going to tune in, so
yeah,
probably got the Thiessens on. We'll have them on at some point. That's going to be fun. Yes, we are besties forever. All right. Great. Okay. What is the largest thrash that you've been a part of?
As far as the drag and drive?
Yeah, or whatever, period. I mean, you race for a living, so.
Yeah.
In your off-road days, I think, brought some of your biggest thrashes.
Yeah, there was quite a few when we raced off-road. I mean, that same kind of story, you're one year we crashed a car and then we had qualified for King of Hammer. So it's now what do? You got 6 months to build an entirely new car, that's where all your best friends, come together and, you got the right people and you just make it happen. that kind of thing. But I don't know.
Really?
I think as of late, this year was probably the biggest, stressfulest thrash that we've had to deal with.
And I've heard a lot of that, kind of like your story is you work on your car really hard before you go.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you have like weeks beforehand. Then you have the actual week where you're still thrashing on the thing.
Yep.
And then you get home and then you have to re-thrash on it because you have to get it back ready. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you stretch it out, I mean, really it's like a couple of months long thrash fest, which sucks sometimes. But when you have an orange helmet at the end of the week, it's, I mean,
Well, when he
that's helps deafen the sting a little bit.
It made the drive home a little nicer.
Right.
when he had this thing torn apart the first time to get to sick week, and like we were waiting on parts or whatever, is when we were working on my car. And so like I'd come home, a little late or whatever, and he'd be out here working on mine because he couldn't work on his. And
he doesn't sit still very well.
No.
Well, and I mean, as a guy that doesn't wrench every day, like I got to keep my stamina up for it because it works different stuff on you. Like you'll see it, Haleigh, as you get older. And Laurie, when you start building a car, like it's like being at the gym and working stuff that you don't work because this isn't like a normal.
Yeah.
You don't do that every day, and you start you'll get so sore, and so I have to like stay if I'm in a mode of long term kind of wrenching. I have to wrench on something every day, or I get sore and I can't. It like locks me up. So I get it. I understand. I hear what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
Even though you wrench every day, it's a whole different thing. So
I always get asked that too. How do you do that all day at work and then come home and do that? And it's this is totally different than somebody's diesel pickup or whatever.
Right.
It's just I don't know. I guess I'm able to just split the two. And
yeah, it's a different thing. Like there's work wrenching and there's home wrenching.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep.
I don't know who that is, but you let someone borrow a jack.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
great job.
We had people this year too, like just like you're saying, didn't know who he was from anybody, and somebody had told him that I might have a tool that he needs, and he comes over and it's like didn't even ask his name. It's just here.
Right. Yeah.
Go.
Just bring it back.
You're handing them your whatever snap-on balancer puller or whatever it is.
Yeah, and it's probably $400 or whatever. And
yeah.
Didn't
even question it.
Is there ever a point you wanted to give up on the hearse?
I mean, I think everybody goes through that. I mean, everybody has that point where they're just over it. And I mean, I wouldn't say give up, but I was definitely had a few points where it was like, this is just. I'm going to put a blanket over it and it can sit there,
Right. Like, I should just put all this crap in a Fox body.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I will say it was really hard for him too, going for not hearing the car for months. And then when he finally got to start it, like you can see that recharged him.
the relief.
That was like, okay, I've got a breath. I can keep pushing. And then also too, I have to say shout out to, and I apologize, I don't know who, but the guy that designs the Sick Week shirts.
Garrett Olson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Garrett gave us a sneak peek of the Bradenton shirt. And I have to tell you, thank you, because that gave him another breath to keep pushing, because it was like, dude, we're on the shirt. Like
you can't not show up if you're on the freaking shirt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. At that point, it became, okay, it at least has to get there and make the one drive.
Right.
The Bradenton. Then
the Bradenton drive, so that you can at least do yourself some favors there. Did you now? So I know Royce was on the shirt last year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he bought, I think he said like $3,000 worth of shirt or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did you have the same? Did a bunch of people like, oh, I got that shirt then?
Yeah. Yeah, we had a list. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But I think he got lucky last year because they reprinted them because they didn't realize how big that was going to be.
Awesome, it was going to be right.
So he got in on the reprint, so he was able to get a whole bunch of them. But this year we asked them if they were going to reprint them, and they said absolutely not.
Hey.
So if you weren't there,
You don't.
We even went back twice on the last day to see if they had any extras left, and
Right.
Or gone.
gone.
They were selling out of those last year. They actually gave us some of them before they opened, and so we got first dibs on those shirts. And
Nice.
Unfortunately, this year they were like, none of the staff get those shirts. Like, sorry guys. So you win.
Well, it just speaks to too, like that, the family of this event, they're pulling for you. And so getting that reassurance of like, you've got this, we want to see you, you're doing something cool, it just, that's the whole draw to the event. And you can't, there's nothing else like it.
That's probably your sister, Jason, would be my guess.
Yeah.
So hopefully you bought your sister one.
Maybe.
Depends on what you got us for Christmas. I do want to real quick in the middle of this, just point out Haulin Ash on Facebook. This is what it looks like. It's got the hearse. It's on the beach. You can follow them. Do you guys have any other social medias that you use that you want to shout out?
Yeah, shout out Chris Story for the badass photo.
Hell yeah, dude. That's the GOAT.
And we're on the Instagram as well.
Same.
Okay.
Name.
Same name, Haulin Ash. Awesome. So yeah, keep up to date with what they're doing. They actually do post a lot of their stuff as they're working on stuff on those pages. So you can kind of keep up to date with the hearse and what's going on if you are a fan like I am, because who's not a fan of a freaking 8.0 hearse? I mean, idiots. That's who.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Oh, it's Clint. Clint's at the basketball game, and he's the one that borrowed the jet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
So I've got him on next week.
There you go.
Yeah.
Clint Sadowski.
Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Michael Narks likes watching your stuff, and where people want to know where the purple hair is.
She's been bugging me about that for months.
It happens. It happens. For all of you, what is your number one best memory from a dragon drive?
Ooh.
I know that's a tough one, but
I think there's too many.
Right.
I mean, each one has its own moment.
Tell us one. Tell us something that sticks out.
I have to say one of my fun memories in this was just, when you're cutting loose in the evening in the pits and kind of being silly. It was one year that sadly we did get hurt to the point that we did have to call it at race week. And so we ended up picking a rental up because we're like, we have to finish the week with our friends. We're not done. And the rental company gave us a white Caravan. And so Haleigh decided to imitate Whitty, and we were driving around the pits with her hanging out the side door taking photographs. And
yes.
it was pretty fun.
Well, and then what's it? Tina and David, they gave us a bunch of stickers from their shop. So we put nitro stickers and turbo stickers all over the van too.
Stickered that rental van.
Hell yes.
Yeah, that
was good. If you guys don't know, I'm going to try to find the race van. But the 1320 video crew used to cruise around in a white minivan, and it said race van. And that was the license plates for race van. And that you knew 1320 was at spot if the minivan rolled up and it had race fan plates. And their logo or whatever back in the day used to be "We'll make you famous." Yep. So if you were street racing and a white minivan showed up and a bunch of punk kids got out with cameras, you were about to get famous on 1320 video. So that's pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, now they're all incognito in rental cars, and you're just hoping.
Yeah, but they still wear the red shirts.
Oh yeah, yeah, but then you're just hoping you fix it before they show up.
Right.
Until Whitty happens to notice you sitting at the weigh station and tells Fred to back up about a quarter mile on the highway to get the shot.
That sounds like crap that they would do for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I was laying in the car this time and started counting feet, and I was like, wait a minute.
There's too many people here. what happened.
Yep.
I can't find this video, picture of that video or the van. It's since been retired. Now they roll around in Denali's because they're gangster. Because that's cool.
Bougie like that.
That's right. Tell me about the one that got away. What car did you sell that you should never sold?
Oh man, I got two. I think the Roadrunner I kind of regretted selling, and then my first car was a '63 GMC half-ton like step-side pickup.
Nice.
And I don't know. I kind of lean towards the truck just because of the sentimental. Like my dad bought it for me, and
right,
all that, and now that they're not around, parents aren't around, so it's like that whole sentimental side of it. I really wish I would have kept that one. I think.
Yep. What about you, girls? Have you sold anything that you?
I bought two, and I still have two. So.
See, that seems to be a theme of a lot of race car people is that they don't sell a lot of crap. So, just hang on to that.
Yeah. We're those neighbors that we have the two parked in the garage, and then we have several parked in the driveway and on the street as well. So
that happens. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Like they're not hurting anybody.
No.
They're just out there. Just let them go.
And I do have to proud mom. She did buy both her cars. She did. We didn't. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Little,
that's pretty rare these days.
Yeah.
My parents bought my first car. Well, my first driver car, but it was broken. So I got the car. I got a Haynes manual and I got a Craftsman tool set. And
nice.
It needed a transmission. And it was, you can have this if you can put the transmission in it.
Yep.
And it was an 87 Escort station wagon.
There you go.
Oh, cool.
It's not cool. No. with an automatic, by the way. Yeah, not cool. No. But I did have a Monza at the time, so but I've got that car. It's my first car.
Yep.
I sold it when I bought my house. I found the car again, rebought it, and now it's in it. That is cool.
We might have to do some homework and see if we can track down one of yours.
Mine just showed up on Facebook Marketplace.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
And one of my buddies tagged me in it and said, I think this is your car. And it had been through 3 or 4 owners. And it was pretty well thrashed, but it was in fact my car. So I was like, screw it, let's go. Wow. And it's at Vince Rui's shop getting an 850 cage and a mini tub at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So I had it. It was sitting in the backyard just getting pine needles all over it. And the previous people that had it were like, we're going to turn it into a race car and hacked all the wiring out of it. And not whatever, just ultimately ended up ruining it. I think the rear ends blew up in it and all kinds of crap, but I got it. It's back.
Yeah. That's
I
cool.
daily drove that thing. It didn't have a heater, but the headers were close enough to the floor that it would heat the floor up. So if you had a blanket, you'd be toasty in about 10 minutes. No big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal.
We lost our heaters in the hearse because with the Pro Charger, we had exhaust that ran the length of the car and went underneath the floor. And when we switched to turbos, now with the exhaust coming out the front, we lost our heater. And so a cold Georgia drive at night kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Add a heater with defrost. That stuff's safe. It's about safety.
Oh my gosh. I was there's race week when it rained in Dallas. I was in the back digging through suitcases, handing them t-shirts to wipe down the windshield because it was so wet.
Defrost, you guys. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's worth the wait. It's 4,000 pounds already.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
if you add 50 pounds and you have heat, you're going to love yourself. I promise you.
Yeah.
We're from Colorado. We have layers.
Yeah.
I get it, but the defrost.
Yeah.
Rain-X.
The defrost. You got a buddy heater. Is that like the little 12-volt heater, Kevin? I think it is. Like the little you plug it in.
Oh yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. You can do that. And then just put it under your jacket or the Milwaukee heated jackets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that might work. That might work. Oh, it runs on propane.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, totally. It's like the ice fishing.
oh yeah,
Oh,
squeeze on
okay.
the bottle.
Yep, it's got the little propane bottle. Totally,
Yep.
that's what it is.
That's
Might as
cool.
well add air at that point also. You're right, Chris. It's all about comfort at a certain point. I mean,
Yeah.
8.0s with heat and defrost and AC. Eh,
Uh,
go
might have
ride in Haleigh's car for one, and then you'll want to put it back.
I mean, yeah, at that point, we'd have to get with McGilton about pointers on how to go that fast with all that stuff.
Right. At that point, it's cubic dollars and it's cubic horsepower.
Yeah.
So, but it can be done. He proves it.
Yep.
Yeah.
He proves it. And don't forget about cup holders for the coffee.
Oh, we do have a couple.
We have cup holders.
Heck yes. Oh, she just lost her phone.
Yeah,
It's the 3D printed one from BMF.
a couple.
Oh yeah, Brooks is 3D printing those. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Very cool. A Milwaukee 12-volt fan between the seats is defrost. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Whatever. We're learning new stuff today. Okay. I think I gave you a heads up on this one, and I want to hear everyone's answer. Hand you a stack of money, unlimited money. Here, each of you has a big stack of unlimited money, and theoretically, everyone in the drag and drive world's car is for sale. Whose car are you bringing?
Wow. I would probably lean towards like Tom's Camaro. That thing is just badass.
It's so badass. It's got every creature comfort it came with initially, except for cruise control.
Yeah, I watch him get in there, and I've seen him getting buckled in and like push on the pedals, and then reach down, and the seat just slides forward. Electric seats, and
Yep.
yeah, that thing's badass.
It's got a backup camera. The defrost works in the back window. It's got AC still.
Yep.
The sunroof works. That car is sweet.
I think
the XM radio. The freaking XM radio works.
It's like the ultimate drag and drive car. I mean, it's got everything that you could want, in a daily driver.
Right.
And
it's 200 miles an hour.
It's a 200 mile an hour car. I mean,
yeah. Yep. I talked to Tom. It is mostly hoses and things like that.
we
a little bit of wiring
for a while too.
Yep. So it shouldn't be too bad, and he thinks he's going to have it ready to go for race week.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, I think it looked worse than it actually was.
Right.
So,
Laurie, unlimited money.
So they know which car I drool over every year at race week, and it's for style points because I love this car. And if the owner is listening, if you ever find yourself in a position where you can't keep it, me first, please. It's dark green. I believe it's a Mercury. What is it? Like 40s-ish, I want to say. It's got that real bubbly roof and the fenders and.
It's Ernie Riley's car.
I love that car. I love the look of it. I love that style.
Yep. If it's the same car, AILE. Oh, he's not on your page. I need to back up into main Facebook land here. If it's the same car I was thinking of, it's his friend's old car.
Mm-hmm.
And
his friend built it together.
It's total. That's definitely his.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they built it together, and they built it to drive to Bonneville, not to drive at Bonneville, but to go to Bonneville. And it had a 500 Caddy in it with a Turbo 400 and 270 gears.
Wow.
So he would drag race it as like a power glide, first and second gear.
Yep.
And then it would go like 140, he said. Just straight line. Yeah. Ernie's car is sweet. And he put a big block Chevy in it, and it's got a 4L80 in it now.
Okay.
So he's been improving it, but yes, that Ernie's car is sweet, and I can't find him on here, but that car is bad, and he's got he comes from a lot of Pontiac background. He's got a really fast first gen Firebird as well.
Oh,
Okay.
that's cool.
Drink.
Yeah.
All right, Haleigh.
I don't know whose it is, and they did Sick Ward last year and this year.
Okay.
But it's this dark, like royal purple 57 Bel Air, and he's got all the gold trim on it, and it's like all the original. I don't care what it runs. I don't care what's in it. The 57, and it's purple. That's my absolute dream car, and I don't know why, but I've always loved the 57.
It's an iconic car. It just is. It just is. And if it's your color and it's got all, I get it. I get it. It doesn't matter, like you said, what it runs or what's in it or what, because you can change all that. Like, you can turn it into what you want, but if the bones are what it is and that's what you like, then I'm a 55 guy.
Yeah.
But I have a healthy respect for all Tri-5s, but
just classic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And for me, like, especially like a gasser 57, because there's so many 57s that are street car 57s, but a guy that can like gasser one and do it right, that's a thing. I'm more of a driver 55, gasser 57. I'm not a big 56 guy. That hurts Joe Barry's feelings a lot. But yeah, it's just in my world. Like, I'll take one if he wants to give me his car. I'll take it. His is one of my short list of unlimited money. What car are you buying? Joe's car with the Lenko is it's pretty choice.
Yeah,
pretty choice. 6-second steel car, not bad.
I know Haley really likes Guthrie's silver one that he brings as well.
His 56.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's got a clutch pedal in it too, and it's got a Jeffco, which is the same basic thing, right? But Rick Johnson, who owns Gear Vendor Overdrive, bought Jeffco.
Yeah.
So it's got a little bit of hot rod background backing it right now, which is cool in that world.
Yeah, that's good.
But it's still got a clutch, so I'm a whatever. If you're gonna have a Lenko, that's cool, but keep a clutch in it, Royce.
Yeah. Royce. We don't need to be messing with a clutch in that car too.
Could you imagine?
There's enough going on there.
Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine? Favorite racetrack that you've been to and why for each of you?
Huh. Dude, calm yourself. Sorry, dog come
I got to close the door. Mine to be doing the same thing. I actually had them in my early days when I had a couch. I'm currently on my office chair because I work from home, and this is like kind of my refugee. That's cool drink studio. But when I had my couch, I would just have my dog up there with me, and whatever, no big deal.
Yeah,
dogs are awesome.
I don't know if I could pick one track, honestly. Bandimere, it's kind of, it's iconic. And I think we get spoiled because, it's home, it's local, but I don't know. I'd say Bandimere. I think Gainesville is kind of the same way. It's got that iconic, tower and the track, it's a nice facility.
The gator right on the tower.
Yeah. The pictures as you come out and turn that corner that you can get there is insane.
Yeah.
Then, I don't know. I even think it's cool just the history of Julesburg even. There's something about that history and being able to do, going down the same strip, you think about who else has gone, how many icons have been there,
Right.
I
love Julesburg. Julesburg is now again my closest track.
Right.
Which sucks ass because it used to be 3 hours and now it's more like 4.5. Whatever. No big deal. But I love Julesburg.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's probably my top 3. But it's biased because they're, Colorado tracks, but
Totally. Totally.
I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And I mean, Stevie, like when she moved to Denver, she's had Sturgis that we had up here that closed, and Julesburg and Marion, which is out east of the Missouri River here in South Dakota. And then Oahe, which closed. But yeah, I got to Vandermeer, and she's like, "This is a big boy track."
Oh yeah,
It's like this is like, and yeah, I mean a national event track. And it's built on the side of the mountain, and you walk up to the top and you walk into the grandstands. Like it's a purpose built race facility. It's freaking amazing.
Yeah, it's nothing like it out there.
Nope, and
Never will be.
Never will be. Exactly. Unfortunately, no moss.
Yeah.
But Laurie's turn.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to piggyback off of Jason, just that, and I gotta say it's been kind of cool too, going to LS Fest out in Vegas. That one would be top 5 for me because they made it 4 wide, so that's pretty cool.
Right.
It'd be awesome to see 4 go, but I don't know if they can do that. And then it's kind of fun too when you're sitting there in the stands when someone oiled the track down, like having the Air Force Base and they do the flyover, and so it's just like, and then like sunset in the desert, and stuff. It's a cool venue, so I think.
Well, and Vegas is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Why not? Can be, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
It can be, but we need to keep the money at the track, and
you don't need to spend them, but you just go out and you watch. You just hang out. Like, I mean, you can get a lot of freedom out there.
Oh yeah.
Just eat in and out and just hang out and watch.
People watches, yeah.
Well, and we found some good like local joints, going out there the last several years. Our thing is like, let's eat off strip and let's see, what the.
That's got to be Lewis.
Okay, we gotta show one of Jason's other trophies.
I still keep it in the car.
Yeah, it has a permanent residence on the car, but just Vegas is such a cool place, and there's so much there besides the strip too. But when you win a trophy at go-kart racing too,
it's our tradition every year with Lewis and Steph. We go-kart racing at Fremont Street, and he won first, and so he got the little trophy keychain, and it's on the hearse keys.
Hell yeah!
That was the same year we won Street King at LS Fest. So I told Lewis it was the trophy.
Yep.
So ever since then, I just keep the trophy on there.
Oh yeah, they're right there. You can see it right there.
Yep.
That's a witty photo, I think, from the last day.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and Haleigh built that coffin that's the ignition.
Oh, nice.
Great uncle.
Heck yeah.
Haleigh and her uncle put that together for that. So.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Haleigh, tracks.
For me, it's an easy Vandermeer. Just, like growing up, was the closest track. And so, we would go there to watch Mile High, and we'd go there for the Street Outlaws deal. We went a few years, and, that's the first track that I got to race at. And
the first track that Dad raced at.
Yeah, the first track that he raced at, and the first track that I raced at. And then my Nana used to live down in the valley there, and so whenever we'd be at her house, if they were having Mile High Nationals or whatever, we could go in the backyard and hear the cars from her backyard. And so it's a lot.
That's where I grew up. I went to Green Mountain High School, so I grew up on the west side. So I grew up with that. That was in our house. And even like the house that I lived in right before I left, if the wind was just right, you could hear a super comp car. I mean, a regular naturally aspirated big block Chevy, no problem. You could hear from the house. Like, never mind a blown car with zoomies or a nitro car. I mean, it was cool. It was super cool. It was a different thing for sure.
Yeah.
But Vandermeer's on the top for you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Dig it. So I'm getting down to the end of my questions. If you're on the live stream and you want to know anything more about the hearse or the Pickett'S or whatever they got going, throw it in there. Let's do that, and I'll get through these couple. And if we got nothing else, we'll call it a night here on That's Cool. Drink plus not a beer. But trailer or no trailer?
I say trailer.
What?
Trailer or no
Trailer or no trailer?
I say trailer. I mean, we have all the room, obviously, that we could use, but just not having the yard sale, every day, that's, you can stay a little more organized, I think.
Well, that was a big thing too, is the first year or two that we packed it in the car.
We did.
I mean, thank God I played Tetris as a kid for hours, but
Right.
it's like, how did we make all this fit each time? And then where'd that one thing end up? Did it make it back in the car? And with having a trailer, you can have a little bit of organization. You can kind of keep track of what you've got.
Yep.
And so it's a no-brainer. Since we built it, I would never go back.
Right. Here's a good one. How do you keep the 4L80 alive?
A lot of tearing it out and tearing it apart after hurting it. But no, I have to give credit to Jake at Jake's Performance there. He definitely, I obviously could tear it apart and know how to put the pieces and parts back together and why they're there and how they're there. But he understands them intimately, and he's helped me a lot. When I would have an issue, it's like, okay, I didn't know why, or how do I make it better, or whatever. And he's helped get me in the right direction with it.
Awesome.
I honestly don't know how it's living, but 4,000 pound car doing like 60 foots that some people would hope to get, I don't know. It was a lot of trial and error. I'll say that.
What kind of power does the motor make?
Right now we're going to be right at that 2,000 mark. Yeah.
So it's ingesting a lot with the weight behind it.
Yeah, when you're 4,000 pounds and mid and lower 120, 60 foots, it's getting with it.
Oh yeah.
Well, if it speaks to his ability to build them, I have a 4L80 in my car too, and when we went to Bandimere, it was having some problems with shifting. Like, it was shifting really hard on the street.
Okay.
Well, then we put a gauge on it, and it was at like over 400
it was
line pressure, like ridiculous line pressure. The only thing that happened was it blew the front seal while I was driving home. Nothing got hurt. Nothing got,
got lucky.
That was it.
Got lucky.
Rather be lucky than good some days.
Yeah.
But so Jake's a lot of help with the 80. I assume it's an aftermarket case, steel.
Yeah, now it is. We've only had the aftermarket case for 2 years now.
Okay.
But it got to the point where with the stock case, I knew we were pushing it, so I put a bell housing on it, a JW bell housing on it, and then it got to the point where like we could do race week, but I knew it was hurting itself.
Right.
Because there's limitations in the stock case. So you do race week and then you come home and I'd have to take it out and take it apart.
Right.
And then you go do LS Fest and then it's kind of let's take the pan off and see what it looks like and then maybe take it out. But, so the aftermarket case definitely made a huge difference.
Yeah. And it's so much less that you have to mess with in between.
Yeah.
If it's starting more stout. And I saw a Circle D bolt together converter.
Yep. Stepped up to that this year. It's working pretty good. It's brand new out of the box. We kind of Dan Palmieri helped me get it, set up, and we took a swing at it. And it needs a little tweak, but I couldn't have been happier with it.
Nice.
It spools way better now, for sure.
So 120-ish, 60 foot. What gears in the car?
430s.
Wow. Yeah. What kind of RPM does it turn then?
At the track?
Yeah.
We'll go anywhere. Like this year it was right at 8,000, 80, okay. 50.
All right.
The converter's a little tighter up top this year. Last year the converter was not right for the turbo setup. And it was turning about 8,400 then.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's spicy. Nice. I like it.
Get like it.
That's what I'm talking about.
But then you get on the street, with that tall of a gear, you get overdrive and lockup. So now, 65 is 2,200 RPM. Right.
I'm actually, I'm going backward. I I should be keeping my 389 gear in my car because my closest track is 4.5 hours away.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to put a 456 in it because I'm an idiot. But my first gear is 297, and with a 456, it should be pretty spicy. It's an NA deal, but I pretty much just want to do wheelies.
That should do it.
So a 297 with about 5,000 RPM and a clutch and a 456 gear might be.
That should do it.
Might be good.
I think
so.
That should be fun.
We'll see. It should be about 3,300 pounds. So yeah, I think it'll be a little fun ride. But it's got all the Crowder stuff, and I told Lewis, like I have an infinitely variable torque converter, so I could put whatever you want, and I have your rockers on it, so it can turn some RPM. And he was like, "Cool. Do you want to do a solid roller?" And I was like, "No." But give me a spicy hydraulic roller, and he said it should turn about 8,000. So it should be fun.
They sound good
like
up there.
8,000, yes. This will be a good one for all of you as well. Advice for newbies. Someone getting into this that's gonna fill your role. I pretty much just want to do wheelies.
Yeah.
That one's actually for you, Chris.
Yeah, we need that on a shirt.
I'll put it on a shirt, but I want to do wheelies so that you can get the picture of the bottom of my car.
Yeah.
That's the goal. I would love to have the old Flowmaster. Everyone had the poster in their room.
Oh yeah, with
the Flowmaster with Chevelle, and it was the whole bottom of the car, but it was running through Flowmasters. I'm going for that. So that's for you, Chris. But advice for newbies going in your sort of role, I guess. So like, as your husband's wife, what advice do you have for someone as your dad's daughter? What advice do you have for in your roles? What advice do you have for someone getting into this, maybe with a stupid car that might be too fast?
Take anything that gets said during the week with a grain of salt, and know that when you get home, it will all be okay. You just, you don't. This is not the time to push your limits and to, say anything a little. They might push buttons a little too hard.
Right. Because you still have to live with these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, just remember the beef jerky ran out like 3 hours ago, so that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think definitely kind of like what Haleigh said, remember we're in this together and we're doing it because we enjoy it. And if the moment gets a little uncomfortable, it's a moment, and look at the bigger picture and think about what we're accomplishing that day or that week, and hang on to that, because that's huge. And, keep snacks handy because nobody likes to be hangry at one another. And
right.
Remember the sunscreen, especially when you have fair-skinned family members. So,
That got me in Florida this year. I got burned, and I mean burned, day one. And I fought it the rest of the week. My ears the tops of my ears were burnt to a crisp, and the back of my neck, and I fought it all week, and it sucked. And luckily I wasn't competing because I'm a baby when I'm like sick or hurt or sunburned, and it was not good. So
yeah, there was a couple days there putting the helmet on, rubbing past your ears. Yeah, I got it on my ears too.
Yeah.
And I will say too, like anybody that's thinking about doing this, stop thinking about it. Do it.
Yeah.
Whether you're doing road week or sick ward or whatever, even if you just come out to the track for a couple days, get your butt out there, because there's nothing else like it. And watching it on YouTube is cool, but it's not the same.
Right.
And you just have to experience it. And once you do, you'll never stop. Like there's nothing like it. And the people that you'll meet and the stories that you'll have and hear, stop talking about I want to, and figure out how to make it happen. Even if you do it on a budget and you're sleeping in a tent at the track and you're eating peanut butter and jelly. Like, I don't care.
Right. A ton of people do that. And even if you, I mean, reach out if you're interested and ask if someone needs a co-pilot. Because there's always people that are looking for a co-pilot. And like they would love to tote you along and share hotel fees with you. Like,
we're not doing this because we won the lottery or we're like secret trust fund babies or something. Like, we chose that this is what we enjoy and what we want to do, and we made it happen. Like, and every day we figure out how we're going to make it happen. You know? So.
What about you, Jason? What advice do you have for A, someone getting into drag and drive, but B, someone wanting to build something unique and different and cool?
Just do it. I mean, everybody gets so hung up on the, like, I hear it a lot. I think during the sick week stuff, you know, it's like, oh, my car's slow. Why would I go do that? Or it doesn't matter. Like, everybody's there for the same experience, you know, and it doesn't matter if you're running 15s or if you're running 6s. I mean, everybody's, you know, it's your own deal. You know, everybody's kind of in their own little world, and we're just doing it all together.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what your car is. I mean, you know, you can definitely see the people that get it and the people that just don't understand like why we would do this car. But, you know, in the end, it's what we chose to do and we enjoy it. And I don't give a shit what they think, you know?
Right. And that's the key. I mean, really, it is.
Just do it. You know, that's all it is. I mean,
being able to say that you did that with something that, you know, you put together or you threw together, and you took the time to, you know, finish the event and be able to say that you did it is.
Yep. Yeah. It doesn't matter what happens during the week. I mean, you get back to that last track. I don't think there's another feeling like that in drag racing. I mean, the whole week you're just driving away from, you know, all your safety. And then you don't even, you know, you think about it on the first day, I think, but then after that, it's not even you don't even think about it.
No, not at all. You're getting in your 2,000 horsepower hearse and you're going to turn the key on the coffin and you're going to drive another 200 miles because that's what you're doing. And you're going to do it with your friends, and you're going to do it with the friends that you had when you got there, and you're going to do it with friends that you just made when you got there, and you're going to do it with friends that you don't even know yet, but like you're going to meet within the next hour. And they're going to be your people because they just are. And I love this stuff so much. I'm such a drag and drive dude, especially, but really just the car culture itself is just such a different thing than the world at large. We're such a, I hate to say that we're better, but we're better. I mean, we just are. Like, people helping each other is not stuff that happens out there. It's just not. Like, people on the highway will drive past you like you experienced at highway speeds and not blinking.
Not even move over.
Right. Not at all. Stop. But then you do one of these and 10 dudes stop.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're, you know, all of a sudden you've got, and they're dudes that you like have maybe even read about in magazines.
Oh yeah.
They're like these like larger than life, like Laurie and I were talking, like, you know, like I hang out with Kyle, like from 1320. I know this guy and this guy and this guy.
Yeah.
It's not that like I'm bragging to you. It's just that they're regular people. They're dudes that we hang out with.
Yeah.
And it's not, yes, it's cool. And I'm still a fanboy, but it's not that big of a deal. They're regular. They're here. Come say hi. Come meet them.
They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like the rest of us.
Right. Exactly. Like I gotta have Larry Larson on at some point because I've got a great story to tell because he farted in my car one time. And I don't know if he remembers it, but it was right after race week in 2015. He was back for Super Chevy Show and he had the S10, and it broke down on the side of the road when they were going to Stevenson because they were doing a little to do. And I was in my Malibu just bebopping along, and like that's Larry Larson. Like I should pull over and see if he needs anything. And he's like, "Can you give me a ride back to my truck and trailer?" And it's back at Vandermeer. We were by the Alameda exit.
Okay.
Like, yeah, sure, whatever, no big deal. But yeah, on the way back, he farted in my car. Stinky
funny.
as hell. But that dude was like the Pope in that world, and like I had him in my car. I was like, and he's like, drive through the gate. Just drive through the gate. And I'm like, this is my track, dude. I can't, like, they know me here. I can't just drive through I'm going to stop at the gate, but whatever. Yeah. So I'm going to have him at some point, and I'll tell the story about him farting in my car.
That'll be good.
That's another thing that I think is really special about like the drag and drive people and like, you know, having your family that you're doing all of this with is, you know, you can go travel Florida and you can go to all of the same checkpoints that we did, but you're not going to have that group of people that all love, you know, cars, and that's what we're all there for, and you know, loud noises and cars and cool people and
The sound of my people.
Yes.
Yeah, it totally is the sound of my people.
The sheriff at the ice cream place that's
Yeah.
just hanging out, and he might have to look at something the other way when someone maybe does a trailer burnout.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Because
the
he's
sheriff that was
also a
willing to
car dude.
send a box of parts a mile down the road to Kelly for us, and
Yeah.
like
Hell yes. Well, guys, I think that's a great place for us to wrap this up. Like, thank you guys so much for coming on and rapping to us a little bit. A ton of what I'm doing here and what I'm telling people a lot of is we get to see each other in like 5-minute snippets.
Yeah, usually.
So you know, I mean, we get a pretty good idea of how you're doing like there or what you did yesterday or whatever. And getting to get a little more background and understand who you are and why you built a hearse and why you have your family with you. And it's such a cool thing to sit down for a couple hours with people and really dig into it. And I love it. And I appreciate you guys coming on and spending some of your time with me and the tens and tens of viewers we currently have. And, you know, I mean, who knows what'll happen at some point, but it's been super cool talking to you guys.
No worries. Thank you.
Yeah, we love seeing you and visiting with you as well. I mean, you're one of us.
Yeah,
Heck yeah. And I can't wait to see Haleigh out in the F body. We should do that at some point. And then I can't wait to see what we build for Laurie.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's the new thing now that I'm dealing with is Stevie has pretty much stolen the cat. So that's hers, which is great. No problem. Like I drive it in the week and she can go race it and that's fine. But now that I've got the Malibu back running, like now I'm like, well, shit, I need a dually and I need to have a 2-car trailer and I need to have a place to park all of this stuff.
Yep.
Well, here we go. So I get it. I understand.
Well, that's the dilemma we're at now. How do I get, like go to Vegas for LS Fest?
Right.
I have a 40-foot trailer and there's no way 2 cars are fitting in there.
Right. Well, not if one of them is that.
No.
I was curious one day because these back doors on the hearse are obviously huge, like they're really wide. But I was looking at my car parked next to it, and I was like, my doors are wider than the hearse doors."
Right. Yeah. So no, it's going to be a thing for sure. Yeah. Just figuring out like how are we going to do this, and like I get it, they're street cars, but it's a different thing traveling in 2 different cars.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be with my person.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I don't know. We'll figure it out, but hopefully you guys do too. And again, thanks, Haleigh. I need to see your car at some point. So hopefully it shows up to one of these when you figure out moving 2 cars around or driving something separate. So I'd love to see that.
You going to Montana?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. It's the week before race week, and doing 2 weeks off of work is going to be a tough thing for me.
Yeah.
So, and I'm committed to race week, so I'm gonna be there, but I do want to get out to something else soon. But you're taking that to Montana?
Yeah.
Signed up for her first one.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Nice. Who's your co-pilot?
To be determined.
Okay.
We have some applications in.
Yes.
Yeah. Accepting applications.
I like it. I like it.
And then she also did mention to Tom Bailey that she's interested in potentially doing the 666 with her car.
We're gonna
Okay,
try and get a ticket.
that could be cool. That one looks like fun. A different starting and stopping point's weird.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a little different.
But it's the only way you can do that. But
Yeah.
it's I get it. Like I did. So before we leave, another story for me. Like you want to hear more about me?
Yeah.
But I did the power tour. I long hauled the power tour when I was 18. I had a turbo Toyota pickup truck, and it started as an argument between a couple of my friends with how the quickest way to get to water. And I said it's west, it's California, and they thought it was south to like the Gulf of Mexico or something. Obviously, California was closer. But
Yep.
while we were looking at that, it was like, oh, dude, power tour starts like Monday. What are you guys doing? Like, well, we're working. Like, well, yeah, but what if you're sick? And so we called in sick for a week, and we did power tour, and it did a ton of Route 66. We started in Bakersfield,
Okay.
and we ended up going up Route 66, and we got up to Nashville and decided that was where they ended it, and we ended up blazing back. But my friend had a 66 Charger. I brought my truck, and four of us did the hot rod power tour when I was 18, and a couple of my friends were 17. A couple of my friends were 19, but we were 17 to 19 and living the dream. And it was great. I asked a Sacramento police officer that I didn't know was a police officer at the time to buy us a 6-pack of beer. Ill-advised. Don't do that. But that's kind of what started this addiction was for me. Was at 18 driving Route 66 with the power tour, and it was the 1998 power tour,
Nice.
97 power tour, something like that. And I long hauled it in a turbo Toyota truck that ran in the 14s, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So, but definitely do it. I can't wait to see what happens with that. So I'm going to keep in touch with that, and good luck. Good luck with that. But so hopefully we'll see Haleigh in Montana and possibly 666. We'll see the hearse hopefully at LS Fest West.
Hopefully.
What else do you guys have planned for the year?
We didn't really make many plans for the rest of the year. I mean, I missed out on the race week stuff. I mean, I could throw my name on the wait list there, but it'd be way down there by now, but
yeah, maybe 2 though.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, figure it out. I get it.
That whole trip to Florida and back isn't exactly a cheap one.
No, I get it. Yeah. Well, and I'm kind of in that same boat. 2.0's 18 and a half hours for me, I think, or 19 hours now. I'm 6 extra hours from anywhere.
Right.
So,
I don't know. I think we might just try to play around.
Maybe Douglas stuff.
Or go run down some of those deals they're doing down in Pueblo, or
yeah, that'd be cool. Some of that top end stuff, and
that'd be cool.
Maybe Douglas. They've got 6 races this year.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that could be cool.
I don't know. I don't know. It'd be kind of fun to just be able to enjoy it again, And
yeah, for sure.
Down for a year,
right? Keep me in the loop if you guys do end up going to Douglas. We're gonna make it down for at least one. So it'd be cool if we could dovetail.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I'm sure we'll be there one way or another,
or Julesburg or something. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
We'll figure it out.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you again. Appreciate you so much. I'm going to throw you in the background. I'll tell everyone goodbye, and I'll bring you back, and I'll tell you guys goodbye. But
okay.
Thank you so much again. It was super cool.
No problem. Thanks.
Awesome.
I enjoyed it.
Heck yes. Guys, how about that? The Haulin Ash crew. What a cool night. Like, this all just happened so fast. Like, 2 hours just bangs by. Like, you'd never even know it. And what a cool family. It'll be awesome to see Haleigh with the F body at the Montana. I think he calls it the Montana Race Week or something like that. Big Sky Race Week. That's what it is. So hopefully we'll see her up there with the F body doing the thing. Obviously, like they were mentioning, they're trying to make it to LS Fest West. So keep an eye on that. I believe Bang Shift has the LS Fest West live stream, so they actually live stream the race week stuff as well. So Chad and Neil will probably be out there in Vegas. They do a lot of Vegas stuff as well. So hopefully you'll be able to watch them out there with that. But that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you so much. Make sure you share this stuff. Let your friends know what we're doing over here. I do have everything on the podcast. It's on Blueberry, BLUBRRY. It's only coming every once in a while. I can only upload so many like megabytes of stuff. So I think I've got through like episode 7 or 8 or something on that. You can download that to your phone and then fly and listen to it and not need a cell signal or anything like that. So as those come available, I'm uploading them as much as I can, and hopefully that'll be very cool as we go along. And hopefully a bunch of you are listening after the fact as well. So make sure you tell your friends as well. You can watch these on YouTube after the fact. You don't need to watch it live. So dip into my YouTube, Adam Dory. It's Adam Dory. And then you can watch all of these in succession as well on YouTube. But that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Share this with all your people. Next week, I've got Clint Sadowski. That's going to be super duper cool. Like I said, he was a pitcher in the big leagues. Also does motocross. Also does drag racing. He's got a beautiful Camaro, so we're going to have him on. And then I've got the quickest limo coming up soon. Mark Barnes after him, and who knows what else I'm going to get into. But that said, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. And that's Cool Drink, episode 32. We are done.